Things got more than heated at RFK Jr.'s hearing today. Just take a look at Elizabeth Warren's meltdown.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and I, you have said
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturers.
So Kennedy, known for his anti-vaccine stance, has been repeatedly questioned about his views on them. Despite claiming he's pro-vaccine now, senators have challenged him on past statements where he suggested vaccines could be harmful or linked to various health issues. His association with Children's Health Defense, an anti-vaccine group that has been a focal point of criticism. But yeah, right here, you see Pocahontas, as they call her, having an absolute meltdown. This hearing was nothing short of greatness on RFK Jr.'s behalf. It's my understanding that it's still going down at this very moment. However, we're going to be talking about some of the meltdowns here. We also going to be talking about how RFK Jr.'s sister is out to get him. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But right now, Bernie Sanders, in his latest unhinged meltdown, is shrinking at RFK Jr. about the most earth-shattering issue of our time. Onesies. Yes, onesies.
They are selling what's called onesies. These are little things, clothing for babies. One of them is titled Unvaxxed, Unafraid. Next one, and they're sold for $26 a piece, by the way. Next one is no vax, no problem. Now you're coming before this committee and you say you're pro-vaccine. Just want to ask some questions. And yet your organization is making money selling a child's product to parents for $26, which casts fundamental doubt on the usefulness of vaccines. Can you tell us now that you will, now that you are pro-vaccine, that you're going to have your organization take these products off the market?
Senator, I have no power over that organization. I'm not part of it. I resigned from the board.
That was just a few months ago. You founded that. You certainly have power. You can make that call. Are you supportive of this?
I've had nothing to do with leadership.
Are you supportive of these onesies?
I'm supportive of vaccines.
Are you supportive of this clothing, which is militantly anti-vaccine?
I am supportive of vaccines. I will. I want good science, and I want to protect.
But you will not tell the organization you founded not to continue selling that product. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Blackman.
Thank you so much.
On these onesies. Oh my gosh. Now, this brings us to the whole ethical concerns part of the situation. You know, there has been concerns about potential conflicts of interest with Kennedy's past legal work and affiliations with organizations critical of the pharmaceutical industry he will regulate as HHS secretary. But that right there, man, had me, and I was over here like, I had to cough it out. Now, hands down, according to Benny Johnson, the best exchange of RFK Jr.'s confirmation hearing so far.
Will you continue to do a lot more on? Will you commit not to fire anyone in the health arena who currently works on protecting Americans from cyber attacks in their healthcare files?
I will commit to not firing anybody who's doing their job.
Based on your opinion, based upon your opinion, or your political agenda, or Mr. Trump's political agenda?
Based upon my opinion.
I guess that means a lot of the folks who've had any type of views on vaccines will be out of work. We need to do a lot more. Will you commit?
Hey, man, but you gotta respect it. He's not going in there with any particular agenda other than doing what's right. That's it. If somebody's doing their job correctly, they shouldn't be in fear of losing it. Or I'm not going to be the radicalized guy out here yielding the gavel just like no, yay, no. It's who's doing right and who's doing wrong and act accordingly. Now, the hearings were interrupted several times by protesters, one protester yelling, "He lies," when Kennedy denied being anti-vaccine, and the disruption underscored the public's divided opinion on his nomination. Now, the Daily Caller posted this clip.
Vaccines save lives! Bobby's lies kill! Vaccines save lives!
Yeah, so we see that right there. Somebody posted, why do they always wear masks? I think that's a great question. Now, George posted that RFK Jr. just turned the tables on the Democrats. We already know how the Democrats feel about him, but let him speak his mind.
We need to figure out ways to improve care, particularly for elderly, for veterans, for the poor in this country. And Medicaid, the current model is not doing that. I would ask, any of the Democrats who are chuckling just now, do you think all that money, the $900 billion that we're sending to Medicaid every year, has made Americans healthy? Do we think it's working for anybody? Are the premiums low enough?
So that chuckling y'all was doing, he just made y'all clap because he pointed out just how bad things really are. I wanted to make sure I articulated that correctly. Just how bad things really are, and then how the money that is the billions, I mean, nearly $1 trillion being spent on Medicaid every year, and we're not getting healthy as a nation whatsoever. He has tried to pivot the discussion towards broader health policy, focusing on Make America Healthy Again. That agenda emphasizing issues like food safety, addiction, healthcare spending. But they feel like he has a lack of detailed proposals. Now, right here, he says he don't want to take away nobody McDonald's, okay? And his boss happens to like it.
Make sure that Americans are away, but I don't want to take food away from anybody. If you like a cheeseburger, a McDonald's cheeseburger, a Diet Coke, which my boss loves, and you should be able to get them. If you want to eat Hostess Twinkies, you should be able to do that, but you should know what the impacts are on your family and on your health.
Amen to that. As opposed to y'all just lying and saying everything's healthy. You put diet in front of it, say 0 sugar and all this other stuff, and it don't be that. In addition to that, y'all selling chemicals and products that are banned in other countries. Sure, we definitely need some more understanding on what we're putting in our bodies. As American Papa Bear pointed out, those things haven't been healthy. Somebody said haven't always been unhealthy. I'm sorry. That's exactly what he said. I said it incorrectly. Those things haven't always been unhealthy. I wasn't here at the time. I don't think I was alive at the time that these things were considered healthy. Now, according to Kaylee Means, this is astounding right here. Reporters at the hearing, at RFK Jr.'s hearing, have pre-written negative headlines already. What is this one right here? It says RFK Jr. faces grilling on anti-vaccine comments and animal mutilation. That confirmation hearing. Trump live updates. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It didn't even happen yet. So they was planning for it to happen. You see that? You see that? You see that? Now let's pivot. It's a lot. Obviously, we're not going to react to everything that happened at that hearing. But I want to show y'all just something that's real shady. Who is Caroline Kennedy? Somebody said in the other comments, she's a duck. Anyhow, Anna Matson posted, I wonder who funds Caroline Kennedy. Spoiler, Boeing, actually. Eli Lilly, Johnson & Johnson, and more. No conflict here, but she's definitely spewing a lot about a family member right here. RFK Jr. Check it out.
His views on vaccines
Oh, I got to make sure y'all are hearing that. Hold on.
are dangerous and willfully misinformed. These facts alone should be disqualifying. But he has personal qualities related to this job, which for me pose even greater concern. I've known Bobby my whole life. We grew up together. It's no surprise that he keeps birds of prey as pets, because Bobby himself is a predator.
Wow.
That is RFK Jr.'s cousin. Before you go and just believe what she has to say, maybe we should look a little bit into her.
Yes.
Caroline Kennedy is the former United States ambassador to Australia. And you know what administration she worked for? The Biden administration. Since Harris lost the election, she's out of a job. That has nothing to do with her video. Her position in the federal government required her to file ethics disclosures. This goes through all of her previous employers and where she gets income from. I don't think she thought this one through very much, because now we're all digging in her business and found an almost $600,000 cash payment from Boeing, a company that profits off of war, and now the Trump administration wants to end the forever wars. And she has stock in a lot of companies, including Eli Lilly, which is one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies out there. Also Johnson & Johnson and many more. And of course, RFK Jr. wants to get America healthy, so we're not reliant on these pharmaceutical companies. I'm sure her video has nothing to do with this. We want to give a shout out to this creator who originally found this. I just want you to be prepared, because if you think this propaganda is bad, it is going to get much worse throughout the week. But stay strong, and as always, let me know your thoughts and make sure you're following me for more.
Basically, she's going after her cousin because her cousin is tearing down the corruption within the industries that she's getting paid from. I mean, I don't know what else to add to that. I mean, no conflict here, right? Like she said. And Shasha Stone said that Caroline Kennedy is actually the reason why she's no longer a Democrat. So, I mean, we have some good to come out of this situation, right? That little rain before the sunshine, right? Wall Street Apes posted that today is the day Robert F. Kennedy must be confirmed at the HHS secretary. As HHS secretary, I'm sorry. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to get the toxic chemicals out of our foods and make America healthy again. RFK Jr. wants a real change. He even stated policies for the people. Quote, it is a direct line to Team Trump where Americans can go and propose certain policies that they think would be beneficial to American people, and then Americans get to vote on it. That's pretty cool. Quite literally putting the power into the American people's hands. Let me show you how it works. Instead of me reading it all out, let's just hear her. Okay, I should have had that on cue better.
RFK Jr. just started one of the most American things I've ever seen. It is so cool. It's called Policies for the People. It is a direct line to Team Trump where Americans can go and propose certain policies that they think would be beneficial to the American people, and then Americans get to vote on it. Let me show you how it works. So you go to the website, you sign up for an account, and then you can start proposing bills and voting for some, like single issue bills for Congress, term limits for senators and representatives. There's also one of my favorites, ban artificial food dyes. There's some other ones down here that I think are really cool. Insurance for holistic health, forbid TV drug commercials. You can also go to the left over here and go to different categories. I clicked on health, and then you can find all the different ones on health, and you can vote and also propose. Without even being elected yet, this administration is giving the American people their voices back, which is so cool and gives me so much hope.
Yes, that's super dope. I'm not gonna lie. That is super dope. This is the hotlines directly to Trump's team. Obviously, I assume there's gonna be millions of entries or hundreds of thousands of entries. However, I think this is a great way for us to communicate our issues directly and in real time be able to see on paper using data what the American people are feeling versus what legacy media is posting and reporting. Now, there was some light that came out of this hearing. We have Senator Roger Marshall, who just gave RFK Jr. the greatest endorsement ever. And George proposes the question, why can't every senator understand this?
Going back to the big picture here, 60% of Americans have a chronic disease. Mr. Kennedy, I believe for such a time as this that you're not just one of 300 million people. I think that you are the person to lead HHS to make America healthy again, that God has a divine purpose for you. And I look forward to your confirmation and working with you to make America healthy again.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
And going back
That's
to the
what's
big
up.
picture.
Because, I mean, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, the fact that somebody's sitting here and saying they want to be able to protect what's going into your body and also protect your family for those toxins, from those toxins, I mean, at the very least, you have to be understanding towards that, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. If you're against that, I mean, come on, that says just a lot about you. Now, I want to show y'all this clip right here where RFK Jr. actually gets the opportunity to speak for himself in full and address all of these Democrats. George also added, he just called out the Democrats to their faces.
My approach to HHS, as I said before, Senator, is radical transparency. Democrats and Republicans ought to be able to come in and get information that was generated at taxpayer expense, that is owned by the American taxpayer. They shouldn't get redacted documents. Public health agencies should be transparent.
That's right.
And if we want Americans to restore trust in the public health agencies, we need transparency. I want to say something about what you first said. When I launched my campaign, it was about uniting Americans, Democrats and Republicans. There's no issue that should unite us more than this chronic health epidemic. There's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children. These are our kids. 66% of them are damaged. I know what a healthy kid looks like because I had so many of them in my family. I didn't know anybody with a food allergy growing up, peanut allergy. Why do 5 of my kids have allergies? Why are we seeing these
My allergies are horrible. Y'all see me in the video sniffing.
explosions in diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, neurological diseases, depression, all of these things that are related to toxics in the environment? Why can't we just agree with each other to put differences about so many issues, intractable issues aside, and say, we're going to end this? I don't think anybody is going to be able to do this like I have because of my peculiar experience, because I've litigated against these agencies. When you litigate against them, you get a PhD in corporate capture and how to unravel it. I've written 6 books about these agencies. I know a lot about them and I know how to fix it. And there's nobody who will fix it the way that I do because I'm not scared of vested interests. I don't care. I'm not here because I want a position or a job. I have a very good life and a happy family. This is something I don't need. I want to do this because we're going to fix it. And the other thing is we are attracting now a caliber of people to HHS like never before in history. And they're entrepreneurs, they're disruptors, they're innovators of immense talent that are walking away, many of them from growing concerns. They're not coming there for position. They're coming there because they want to save our country. And they're from across the political spectrum. And all these Democrats are opposed to me for partisan issues. They used to be my friends, agreed with me on all the environmental issues that I've been working on for my whole career. Now they're against me because anything that President Trump does, any decision he makes, has to be lampooned, derided, discredited, marginalized, vilified.
We need to move on.
What an exceptional speech right there. Proving why he's more than qualified for this position. I think that this was a great approach, not necessarily asking for empathy, but you can feel the genuineness in what he was saying. Saying, look, I'm somebody who's been, dealt with litigation against these companies. And if I've been going after these companies in that way, of course, I've seen the legal side of these things. I've seen the force that they are to be reckoned with, and so to speak, and not to be reckoned with, so to speak, saying he knows the ins and outs by the books that he's written and things of that. Also went on to talk about how his intentions are that of something that's just genuine and pure. Also mentioning Trump and saying how he's been demonized for trying to, because he's invested in the best interests of the American people. Wow, I gotta figure out what's that called when you just like fumble all your letters and stuff in your head. Somebody let me know. Anyhow, RFK Jr., I think you did an incredible job, and I wish you the best, man. I hope that by the time this even comes out that he's confirmed ASAP. I know that's not how it's gonna work, but make sure y'all definitely check out the pinned comment. If I haven't pinned my other socials, definitely check out the description. I want to see y'all all across my other social media and such. Thank y'all for all the donations every single day, y'all, under these videos, not only financially donating, but also investing into myself with the positive comments. I truly appreciate that. It keeps me motivated and keeps me going. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. And you don't want to miss this next video.